Please come with us. You're the middle hero today.
Are you ready for the happy Pongal?
Yes.
Yes. இனிய தைப்பொங்கல் திருநாள் வாழ்த்துக்களோடு உங்களை அன்போடு ஆஸ்திரேலிய தமிழ் ஒலிபரப்பு கூட்டுத்தாபனம் சார்பிலும் இந்த பரமட்டா பொங்கல் குழு சார்பிலும் வருக வருக என வரவேற்பதில் மாற்றற்ற மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகின்றோம். என்னோடு இந்த நிகழ்ச்சிகளை தொகுத்து வழங்குவதற்காக சக அறிவிப்பாளர் சங்கீதா ஸ்ரீதரன் அவர்கள் அமைந்திருக்கின்றார்.
எல்லோருக்கும் அன்பான வணக்கம். மீண்டும் ஒரு நல்ல காலை பொழுதிலே உங்கள் அனைவரையும் இங்கே சந்திப்பதில் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி. 10வது வருடமாக இந்த பொங்கல் விழா இங்கே பரமட்டாவில் கொண்டாடப்படுகின்றது. பரமட்டா என்ற இடமே விவசாயத்திற்கு பேர் போன இடம். அந்த வகையில் நாங்கள் பெருமைப்படுகின்றோம் பொங்கல் விழாவை இந்த பரமட்டாவில் 10வது ஆண்டாக கொண்டாடுவதில்.
Let's stand for a moment to sing Australian anthem and Tamil வாழ்த்து. நாங்கள் இப்பொழுது ஆஸ்திரேலிய பாடத்துக்கும் அதாவது கீதத்துக்கும் தமிழ் மொழி வாழ்த்து பாடுவதற்காக சிறுவர்களை அன்போடு மேடை கலக்கின்றோம்.
Joyful
திருமதி தர்மினி சுமித்ரன் மற்றும் சோபனா அரவிந்த்.
நிகழ்ச்சி அலங்கரிக்கும் அடுத்த நிகழ்வு
வரவேற்பு நடன ஆசிரியை திருமதி அஜந்தா இந்திரகுமார் அவர்களின் மாணவன் மயூரகேதன் சபாரட்னம் வழங்கும் வரவேற்பு நடனம். இவரை பயிற்றுவிக்கிற ஆசியை திருமதி அஜந்தா இவர்மா.
Yeah. Acknowledging the traditional owners of this land who are the Darug people, pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and also by urging us all to now hear and support in full the call of First Nations in the Uluru Statement from the Heart. May I start by thanking and acknowledging Bishop Long of Parramatta Diocese and Fathers John, Vincent and Chris. Thank you, Fathers. Thank you so much for holding this here today. Sivasri Indran Kuratul from the Sydney Murugan Temple. How lovely to see you here. Melissa, of course, Melissa Montero, the CEO of Community Migrant Resource Centre. Aurelia Rahman and Consuela Emilianis, two very humble people who work very, very hard for our local community, and I want to acknowledge that. And the CMRC generally. Can I also acknowledge some important people here today? We've got the Minister for Correction, Dr. Jeff Lee. We've got the Shadow Minister for Youth and Sport, Julia Finn. We've got some mayors. We've got the Lord Mayor, Donna Davis from Parramatta Council, and also, of course, the Mayor from the Hills, Dr. Peter Gangini. Councillor Saha was here, unfortunately he had to leave. Diane Coleman and also Deputy Mayor Pandy, who's still here today. Thank you everyone for coming. Can I also say that I want to acknowledge how beautiful and extraordinary an interfaith celebration is. That is how we celebrate genuine multiculturalism, and I want to acknowledge that, the special prayers and the spirituality of different cultures joining together to acknowledge something a bit more than just the day-to-day. And it's very fitting, of course, to hold a harvest celebration here in Parramatta. For those of you who don't know, this is really the beginning in this area of Australia's agricultural history. For thousands of years we had the Darug people here collecting seed and engaging in their own cultural harvesting and caring for country. And then in 1788 we had Captain Arthur Phillip, the first governor of New South Wales, and I'm sure much to the dismay of the local Aboriginal people, he established quite a substantial government farm here that we called at the time Rose Hill to feed the new colony. And it was worked by convict gangs over many years, growing wheat, corn and barley, and it was very successful. And in 1789, the first land grant was given to a burglar from Cornwall called James Roos. You know that name. He was a convict and he was emancipated, and he was given the land on the condition that he grew a harvest. And he did. And from then, other small farms were established, and the colony felt that it was on its way to be self-supporting. So I just wanted to go through that with you a little bit to explain how very, very apt it is to hold a cultural harvest celebration right here. It just seems right to everyone who's here and knows the history. But of course, celebrating Tamil culture and community is all about music and dance and poetry, and allows us all to experience the complexities of this very rich ancient heritage. And can I say, as a resident of Wentworthville, which was a fairly aging community until you all arrived, and you are now my neighbours and friends in Winterfield, and you've brought colour and joy and children and music and festivals to my area, and I want to acknowledge you for that and thank you for what you give. So I wish to acknowledge the wonderful organisation of this. I know it takes a lot of hard work. Thank you so much for your invitation today. On behalf of Cumberland Council, I wish you all the very best for this year. Thank you.
Vanakkam, hello everyone, how are we today? I just wanted to, I'm Dr. Peter Gangeri, the Mayor of the Hillshire Council, and thank you for having me at Parramatta Pongal today. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I wanted to acknowledge some of the dignitaries that came here today. Jeff Lee, the member for Parramatta, Julia Finn, the member for Granville. We had Lisa Lake, the Mayor of Cumberland Council, Donna Davis, the Lord Mayor of Parramatta Council. I wanted to acknowledge each and every one of you here today for this wonderful celebration, but most of all to the Community Migrant Resource Centre, Melissa Montero and your team. Thank you very much for what you do for all of Western Sydney and the Hills community and putting on this event here today. We're so thankful. In the Hills, you provide us significant support through your outreach office, your programs, your services, events you have in the Hills like a Taste of Diversity. We're so thankful, Melissa, for what you do. The Community Migrant Resource Centre for the last 15 years has provided significant support to migrants of Sydney all over, and what they're doing in terms of the programs, the services and helping migrants reach their potential in this country and literally changing lives is absolutely incredible. Particularly for you, the Tamil community, over the last 13 years, I know the CMRC has provided significant support and we're very thankful for that. Today we're here of course for Thai Pongal, which is a festival very popular in South India and Sri Lanka, as you know, celebrating the end of the farming season and celebrating the bountiful and wonderful harvest. And in the Hills, we have a significant farming community, so this is a festival that we have a connection with. The Hills, in the early days of the Hills, was the biggest area of the entire country in terms of citrus growing, stone fruit growing, orange growing. And even now, the Hills supplies over half the cut flower market to the Sydney, to the wider Sydney flower market. So it's a festival that we're very supportive of in the Hills. I really wanted to say that this festival here started 10 years ago. Melissa, the support that you've done bringing this festival and what it's done bringing together is absolutely tremendous. I know you started from humble roots, but look at it today, growing into the mass, the entertainment, the speeches, the food, absolutely fantastic. So we look forward to this festival continuing bigger and better in the future. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Happy Pongal, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much.
இனிய பொங்கல் நல்வாழ்த்துக்கள் உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும். Today we're gathered together on Darug land. I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I especially would like to thank Bishop Long and the Parramatta Diocese for hosting us here in this beautiful chapel here today. Today is a significant day because it's the 10th anniversary of the Parramatta Pongal. It's been a great journey, and this journey of 10 years of Parramatta Pongal and support to Tamil asylum seekers and refugees would not have been possible without the great leadership of Melissa Montero, the CEO of CMRC. I'd like to ask you all to join in thanking Melissa for her leadership and her support and her love to the Tamil community, especially the refugees and asylum seekers. I'd like to also acknowledge all the Tamil organisations who have lent their support over the last 10 years, and also to SSI, who've come on board and supported Tamil refugees and asylum seekers throughout this time. You might be wondering, why is Durga up here giving a speech? It's because I myself am a refugee, having come to this country as a child. So I know the struggles of the refugees, and I know the struggles that we face every single day as migrants in Australia. It gives me great pleasure to honour those who work to support migrants and refugees, those who provide welfare and social work, the case officers, the support organisations, the donors, the sponsors, the volunteers, and all of you who make it all worthwhile every single day of the year. So thank you very much for coming. I'd hate to be between you and the lunch that is being provided. I'm sure you've heard a lot of speeches, a lot of dignitaries here today, but you are special to all of us. You matter, your futures matter, and our culture and tradition matters. And you are doing a fantastic job of passing that on to your children and sharing it with us today. The other thing that is the most important is for advocating for change in policy and law for asylum seekers and refugees. As you know, many of our young people here did the HSC last year and scored really high marks. They got ATARs and advance offers into universities for courses, but will not be attending this year. As an academic at Western Sydney University and as a lawyer, I find that this is the biggest travesty, that we should push for change in law and policy to allow all asylum seeker and refugee children to be able to have tertiary education in Australia under HECS. So as we work to change policies, thank you so much for being so joyous and celebrating this Harvest Festival. I wish you all the very best for the coming year. Pongal Pongal.
நிகழ்ச்சியை